Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am finally reviewing and demonstrating the brand new Divine Rose 2 eyeshadow palette from Pat McGrath Labs. My package arrived just a few hours ago. I had to dig right in. It was delayed a couple days and I haven't had much luck with shipping, so I'm honestly just so glad, a little bit relieved that it did show up today. Luckily, I was able to get my hands on both of the Divine Rose palettes in their limited edition pink packaging. But I have to tell you guys, this was my first time following a Pat McGrath Labs launch, and I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir here, but it was incredibly stressful. I just added these to cart as soon as they were available, and then I checked out immediately. I wasn't playing any games. I went back and then I kind of browsed around a little bit. I decided to pick up the two glosses as well. But I heard that these sold out, this little duo set sold out in under 8 minutes. Something insane like that. I don't think anybody stood a chance unless they signed up for that VIP access, which of course did give an additional 10% off, so that was nice. The one highlight I will say from the week was the Zoom call between Pat McGrath and Naomi Campbell. I think it started 45 minutes late, something like that. But all I was doing that evening was editing a video, so I just kept my computer propped open, so as soon as the Zoom call started, it just popped up and I was able to tune in, and wow, that was amazing. I feel so bad for anybody who was interested, but they had to skip it because it started so late. It was like being a fly on the wall and listening in on the conversation between two best friends. More like sisters, just reminiscing and laughing about old photo shoots, telling stories, inside jokes.
Amazing. And then you had some noodles there. We had a ball. It was insane. Let's go to the next one, my angels. There we are. Look at us. Isn't that crazy? I'm really
Oh my God. Where is that picture taken?
Oh, that one.
In Milan?
That is in the basement of the Ritz. In the basement of the Ritz, Versace Couture with Donatella.
Yes, it is the Ritz. The tiling is the
right.
kitchen. We're in the kitchen. We're in the kitchen by the ice machines. I know exactly where we're sitting. Wow. Oh my goodness. Wow, wow, wow.
And I remember you always, whenever you get into the makeup chair, you go into a little bit of a meditative state.
They were just strolling down memory lane as if there was nobody else in the room, talking about Vogue cover shoots and some incredible moments that they shared together. They truly are each other's biggest cheerleaders, so it was a lot of fun to get to see that inside look into their relationship a little bit more. And of course we did get to see live swatches, and it made me that much more excited for the palette, but of course that was before launch day, so I was still sweating profusely. Still a lot of heart racing going on at this point. Since I didn't previously own the original Divine Rose palette, I'm going to go ahead and unbox and swatch both palettes for you guys. But let's begin with the new sparkly Divine Rose 2. So this is what the exterior packaging looks like. It is so beautiful. I love the artwork, all of her intricate designs. I've been holding on to all of my boxes. So when you take the palette out, it is this gorgeous metallic pink. And I love how both of the limited edition palettes are pink, but they're still different. It shows a lot of fingerprints, but I love this mirrored pink finish. When you open up the palette, this is what it looks like. And then these are all of the swatches. And this is the original Divine Rose palette in the limited edition pink packaging. It's this beautiful pink glossy finish. And if I'm being honest, this one is my favorite. When you open it up, this is what it looks like inside. And these are the swatches. When I first took these palettes out of their boxes and took a look at them side by side, my first thought was, wow, they are very different. Divine Rose is very cool toned. Not exactly what I expected. I think pictures of this palette are very deceiving. You know, online it can look so many different ways. It's not quite what I expected. It is incredibly beautiful. But none of the swatches are the same. The color story is very different. The undertone of the palettes are different. And perhaps that is exactly what you guys expected, but that surprised me a bit. After all, they are Divine Rose 1, Divine Rose 2. I heard from a lot of people who said that they weren't really that interested in this palette because they already owned this one. But I don't think you can really say that because they don't share a lot of similarities. I think the only thing they have in common is the name, Divine Rose. They're so different. No overlap whatsoever, so you can feel really good about your purchase if you did already own the original and you picked up the second, kind of unsure of what to expect. They're so unique. I think Divine Rose, the original, is going to be a lot more wearable, which is something that I had heard, and as soon as I opened this up, I thought, yep, this is definitely more wearable. This could easily be your everyday palette. Yes, there are a couple darker shades. It's a lot of light to medium intensity. It doesn't get super dark, so this isn't going to be the best palette for smoky, dramatic. You do have some shimmery eyeshadows, but there's something about this palette that is far more wearable, earth tone, everyday. This palette, the Divine Rose 2, this is going to be your party palette. This is drama, pops of color. It's just festive, special occasion, those times that you really want to sit down and have fun with your makeup. This is the perfect palette. In that way, it reminds me a lot of Bronze Seduction, that you can really take it to the extreme if you want to. What's great about this palette is that you do have some earth tones in here, so I think you can make this really wearable. You know, if you stuck with these 3 eyeshadows, it's kind of perfect for every single day. You have pops of color. You have earth tones, you have colors other than pink. So if you're one of those people that I've heard from who's so sick and tired of all of the pink eyeshadow palettes, you don't have to do pink with this. It really is far more versatile than I expected. And I did my best today to create a look that wasn't so pink, so in your face. I'm so inspired by this palette. I'm going to keep playing around with it and I'm going to come up with a variety of looks. I'm going to play with every single individual eyeshadow in here. But I think if you had pigeonholed this as a pink palette, you'd be wrong. There is so much more you can do with it besides playing with pink, or purple for that matter. So now that you've seen the swatches and I've given you an overview, let me show you how I created today's look using the Divine Rose 2 palette. That way you can see these eyeshadows in action, and then I'll come back and I will share my first impressions review. I'm using a different lens for the tutorial part of today's video. I'm experimenting, we'll see how it goes, but it should appear a little bit closer and the image should be crisper, which I think will be beneficial. First step, using a fluffy brush, I'm picking up Naked Blush. Next, with a flat synthetic brush, I'm picking up VR Sextra Terrestrial. I really wasn't sure what to do, but I know a lot of people want to see what this color looks like, so we might as well play with it. This is going to go all over the lid. Using my ring finger, I'm going to pick up this corner sparkly shade. This is Astral Pink Moon. I'm just going to dab that right in the center of the lid. I'm even taking it above the crease. I'm really just going right in the center of the entire eye look. Center of the lid, center crease, center of the brow, all the way up. With a smaller, more precise fluffy brush, I'm picking up Extreme Burgundy right here in the corner. These matte shades are very soft, I noticed whenever I was swatching, so you want to be careful. I'm just lightly picking up a little bit. And this is going to go in the outer V. With a pencil brush, I'm now picking up Divine Dusk. This kind of purple pink shade right here. This is going underneath the lower lash line. With a precision brush, I'm going into Gold Lust 001. This is going to go beneath the lower lash line right in the center. I'm obsessed with this little glitter eyeshadow. I'm going to pop this right in the inner corner. This is the complete eye look before I go in with liquid eyeliner and mascara. That's it for the eyes. I went in with my black liquid eyeliner and mascara, but let me go ahead and demonstrate the two lip glosses that I picked up. So this one is Divine Rose and this is Peach Perversion. I don't really care for matte lipsticks and I have a lot of lip liner, so I skipped those. And I swatched these in another video, but just in case you missed it. So the Divine Rose is really pretty. It's kind of that perfect medium intensity rosewood pink type of color. And then this is Peach Perversion. Really pretty. Just the most beautiful light peach with pink shimmer. Today I'm going to apply Naked Kiss lipstick. This is the Blitz Trance. And I'm going to top that off with the peach. So this is the Peach Perversion on top. I love how smooth these glosses are. Kind of smells like a vanilla cupcake. You can be really precise with your application, get all of the corners and points like the Cupid's bow, but it has this little curve right in the center and it just sort of hugs the lips. It's really nice. It's the small things. So I love those. I'm happy I was able to pick them both up. I think these might still be available. Really nice. Now let's talk about these palettes. I love them. They're beautiful. I feel so lucky that I was able to get both of these in the new pink packaging. This original Divine Rose looks stunning. I cannot wait to play around with this. Of course, I've only had a chance to touch it, feel it, look at it, get inspired. I haven't created any looks with this, but just based on the texture and the look of these eyeshadows, I think it is really pretty. I've heard nothing but great things about it, so I'm excited to keep playing around with that. Now this Divine Rose 2 palette, I'm impressed. I'm just blown away by how different my experience was working with this for the first time versus Bronze Seduction. If you remember, if you watched those videos, I struggled the first time, and it even took me maybe a couple times to really fall in love with it. The second time was better, but I was still learning. It was the learning curve. And maybe that's all it took, but playing around with this for the first time, I honestly think these textures are better. Yes, there are some shadows in the palette that are best applied with fingers. You can get that really dramatic, intense color payoff. But even with those eyeshadows, I think they still perform really nicely with a brush. which was not my experience with the Bronze Seduction palette. I think there are some shadows in that palette that are best applied with fingers, and that's really it. If you go in with a brush, you're just not going to be as happy, or it's just not going to look as nice. Whereas with this palette, I was so impressed. Every single eyeshadow I used, whether I used a brush or finger, I think it looked really intense and really beautiful. It did not disappoint. This color right here, I used a brush. It went on beautifully. This shadow right here, I used a brush. And I have no idea if the formulas are actually any different. Maybe it's all in my head. Maybe I've just gotten used to how they apply. Right now, this is my favorite Pat McGrath Labs palette. And I know it's the newest, it's new and shiny, but I just had such a great experience the first time around playing with these eyeshadows. I feel inspired. I think you have such a nice variety of colors here. You can go crazy, you can go dramatic, but you can go easy every day as well. So I'm looking forward to playing around with this more this week, and I am going to create a dedicated video to both Divine Rose 2 and the original Divine Rose. I will be creating 5 looks for each palette, so in case you're looking for some inspiration, you can look for those videos coming out later this week, hopefully, maybe next week. And that completes today's review. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you found this information helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments or questions down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Are you interested in this palette? Did you pick it up? Were you one of the ones who was able to get your hands on it? Drop me a comment. We'll keep the conversation going there. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned, everything on my face down below in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.